Hello everybody! Today was Apple's annual Worldwide Developers Conference. Apple let the cat out of the bag pretty early, told us that they were going to be talking about iCloud, iOS 5, and OS X Lion. In case you didn't see my first video of this series, I'm going to be doing one video for each segment. This is part 2, where I talk about iOS 5. If you didn't see my OS X Lion thoughts, they will be right there. Okay, so there were 9 things that I found really interesting from today's keynote regarding iOS 5. The first one is the notification center. Now, we have a whole new notification system on iOS 5. Ultimately, you swipe down from the top to bottom of the screen and your notifications come down instead of being intrusive and popping up in front of your face while you're doing other things. When I saw this, I was hoping, okay, top to bottom will be notification center, bottom to top will be a spaces type of layout where you can do better multitasking. Unfortunately, we did not get this. Letting it go. Number 2, Newsstand. Newsstand is pretty much iBooks for magazines and newspapers. The reason I find this interesting is because we are now officially changing the face of journalism, people. By Apple being the first to do this, other people are going to jump on the bandwagon. Eventually, we're not going to need physical magazines or a newspaper anymore. Eventually, everything's going to be digital. People like the New York Times are just going to produce digital content. My broadcasting professor from my freshman year of college told me that this was going to happen. So it's cool to see it coming to be. Number 3 is Twitter integration. I mean, it's kind of what I was expecting. They didn't really surprise us with anything regarding Twitter integration. We're kind of taking an Instagram type of approach by building in the tweet abilities into the camera app, so that's kind of cool. Otherwise, like I said, nothing revolutionary, but still cool. Number 4 is Safari, the new version of Safari for iOS 5. I'm a huge fan of tab browsing. I've always wanted tab browsing in the Finder. I want that to be a new native feature eventually. And so if anything can happen in tabs, I'm all about that. If you don't want to have a million tabs open, but you want to read a couple of articles in one day, you can fill your reading list and read those throughout your day. We really need one of those in OS X. 5th thing is reminders. It's a new application, I believe, on the iOS 5 operating system. What it does is pretty much act as a to-do list. It tells you things that you need to do throughout the day. You can check them off as you go. I think that's important because I have a horrible short-term memory. I always forget to call people back. I always forget to text people back. So being able to make that on iOS would be really helpful. 6th thing is the camera application updates. The first thing that stuck out to me was that now you can hold up your iPhone and take a picture by hitting the volume up button, making horizontal picture taking a lot easier and a lot quicker. You can also take pictures from the lock screen without having to unlock it and go to the camera app. So it's really to avoid missing any important shots, which is really cool. Honestly, I've heard a lot of people saying that smartphones are taking over the digital camera world. A lot of people have said that because of the flip discontinuation. I never really bought it. I still don't really buy it, but I can kind of see how eventually that could happen because of these updates to the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch cameras from iOS 5. The 7th thing that I thought was cool was PC free. It's a new attribute of iOS 5 that's going to make iPads, iPhones, and iPod Touches independent of macOS X, so you don't need to go into iTunes to activate or register your devices anymore. You can now just use them whether you have a computer or not. This is a great thing because a lot of kids, I work at Best Buy, and a lot of kids come in, a lot of old people come in and want to buy an iPad and use it as their sole device. This makes the iPad more of a netbook type of thing. I'm totally supporting that. I think that any way that we can make Apple products more independent, standing on their own, would be great. 8th thing that's cool to me is wireless mirroring between an iPad and an HD TV using AirPlay. This is cool just because it shows that, first of all, interactive television will happen. There will be a day where you can use your iPad as a remote or to control what happens on your TV. Number 9 is iMessages. iMessages, think of it as BBM for the iPhone. BBM is BlackBerry Messenger, where people don't have to text each other. They could be on different carriers, whatever. As long as you have 2 Blackberries, you can shoot to each other instantaneously. The reason I think this is cool is because a lot of my friends have iPhones and I don't have an iPhone. So if I use iMessages on my iPod Touch, I can still kind of text them. And the fact that it's compatible between iPhone and iPod Touch and iPad. So someone could be at home on their iPad and you could text them. So yeah guys, that concludes part 2, my thoughts and opinions on iOS 5. What did you think about the iOS 5 portion of the keynote? I wouldn't ask if I didn't want to know. Some people do that. I don't play that. As always, thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching, and if you're not subscribed, why? Just press this button. It's not even a problem. Don't forget to check out my website, www.caitlin.tv. You guys rock. See you in the next video.